You know that feeling, right? You've got this amazing technical idea, it's perfect, it's going to solve everything, and then it just dies on the vine. You can't get the funding, you can't get the buy-in. Well, today we're going to fix that. We're diving into how you turn those brilliant, complex ideas into stories so compelling that people are lining up to fund them and build them. Let's get into it.
And let's just get one thing straight right off the bat. Your technical idea is brilliant. You've put in the hours, you've done the deep thinking, and you know this is the solution. But, and this is the hard part, that's really only half the battle.
And here it is, the painful truth. An idea that never makes it off the whiteboard, it's just a ghost. The real magic, the thing that changes the world, happens when you get other people to believe in your idea just as much as you do. Without that, the most genius solution just becomes another what if. This right here is what we call the architect's communication gap. It's the silent killer of so many incredible projects. It's that huge chasm between the crystal clear vision in your head and the total confusion on your audience's faces. But don't worry, there's absolutely a bridge across this gap, and it's built on one simple but incredibly powerful principle.
And that principle is called representational consistency. Okay, think of it like this. It's like a map. You wouldn't just drop someone into the middle of a strange city and expect them to find their way, would you? Of course not. You'd show them the whole map first. It's the exact same thing with your architecture. You have to start with the big picture so everyone in the room knows exactly where they are before you start zooming in on the details.
See, this is that principle in action. Before we even think about the nitty-gritty of that recipes plugin, we see the entire system it lives inside. It's not just some random box floating in space, it's a critical piece of a much larger puzzle. When you give people this context up front, you're not just showing them a diagram, you're telling a story, and it's a story that everyone can actually follow.
All right, so now we get the why behind representational consistency. Let's talk about the how. And that all starts with making diagrams that are so clear they basically speak for themselves. This is all about mastering your visual language.
So your first big decision is, what's your weapon of choice? When you're in the early stages, just spitballing ideas, you want to go lo-fi. I'm talking whiteboards, napkins, stuff that's fast, collaborative, and super easy to just erase and start over. But when it's time to create the official, polished document, that's when you break out the big guns like Visio. And you really got to get this choice right, because if you don't, you're going to fall right into a very common trap.
Which brings us to one of my absolute favorite concepts, and it's a doozy. It's called irrational artifact attachment. Trust me, it's a trap that so many of us fall into, and we don't even realize it's happening.
Oh, we've all been there. You spend hours making this perfect, beautiful diagram. It's your baby. You're so proud of it. And the idea of anyone changing it feels like a personal attack. And that's the trap. The more time you invest in making an early-stage idea look pretty, the more emotionally attached you get, and the less willing you are to hear that maybe, just maybe, it's not the right idea. So do yourself a huge favor. In the beginning, embrace the mess. It will save you so much pain later on. Now, if you're looking for a cheat code to make diagrams that are always crystal clear, look no further than the C4 model. It's kind of like a set of those Russian nesting dolls, but for your architecture. You start way out at the highest level, the context. Then you zoom in one layer to the containers, then another layer to the components, all the way down to the code itself. It's a fantastic way to guide your audience to a complex system without anyone getting lost.
And hey, no matter what model you're using, these 5 simple rules are your new best friends. First, put a title on everything. No one should have to guess what they're looking at. Use solid lines for synchronous calls and dotted lines for async. It's pretty much universal language. Use color to create meaning, not just to make things look pretty. And if there's any chance of confusion, please just add a key. It's such a small thing, but it makes a world of difference. And this is what happens when you follow those rules. You can just look at this and immediately get it. The colors tell you what's what. The lines tell you how they talk to each other. There's no ambiguity, no confusion, just clarity. That right there is the power of a really well-made diagram.
Okay, so you've made your masterpiece of a diagram. It's clear, it's beautiful, it's perfect. But guess what? Your job's not done. Not even close. Now you have to take off your architect hat and put on your storyteller hat. Because a great presentation isn't about showing a diagram, it's about bringing that diagram to life.
I want you to think about the last technical document you read. You probably skimmed around, right? Jumped to the end, reread a confusing part. You were in control. But in a presentation, you are in the driver's seat. You control the flow.
You decide what the audience sees, and more importantly, when they see it. That's a huge responsibility, but man, it is also a massive opportunity.
Your job as a presenter is to become a master of time. You get to control the reveal, introducing each piece of the puzzle at exactly the right moment.
And you do this by using subtle tools, like simple animations and transitions. Not to be flashy, no, but to carefully guide your audience's eye and control the flow of the story.
Because the ultimate goal here is to make these slide breaks just disappear. You want to stitch everything together into one seamless, compelling narrative that builds logically from one point to the next, pulling your audience right along with you.
All right, so let's put a bow on all of this. Here is your essential toolkit, everything you need to take those brilliant ideas of yours and actually make them a reality.
Okay, here's your mission. Number 1, always start with the big picture. That's non-negotiable. 2, get messy in the early stages with lo-fi tools. It's a sign of a healthy process, not a sloppy one. 3, make your diagrams so clear that they are literally impossible to misunderstand. And finally, when you present, you are the master of time. Take your audience on a journey that's so logical and compelling they have no choice but to follow you.
Because at the end of the day, having a great idea is just the price of entry. The ultimate success of that idea is going to come down to how well you can share it with the world. So, the question I want to leave you with is this. We know your ideas are powerful. Is your communication?